Sometimes in the path to success, you have to get lost. And you get lost by just doing stuff, by just getting involved, by just starting, right? You need to stop trying to find the perfect video. You're not gonna find the perfect video. There's no such thing as the perfect video. The answers really just come from starting, having faith, doing things without really knowing what it is or where you're going. My name is Gabriel Bowman, and I have had a lot of success in the past year with YouTube and just in social media in general. And a lot of that just came from a couple of different techniques, which I'm going to talk about here with you guys today, which I think are key to growth. And I remember the day very well. I was actually on my way to a place here in Utah with my family. And I just remember opening up my phone, my YouTube Studio app, and just seeing just notifications upon notifications upon notifications. And what I had been doing at that time is I'd gotten so serious about YouTube. I was like, I want to be at 100 subscribers by October. At that time, I think it was about May that I was starting to get kind of serious. It was actually about June. Had this app, I downloaded and everything like that, and the AI was telling me, okay, you'll have 300 subscribers by October. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's even more than I thought I would ever have, right? But there was one thing, right? It said you'll have 300 subscribers by October if you're posting this much every single day. And it was really like, okay, you post 2 quality videos a week, and that, over time should get you exactly where you need to be. Well, it did not work out that way. In fact, my passion was so deep, my desires were so powerful to me that I started working double time. And I started out kind of, and I hate to admit it, I started out with the whole entire remix, green screen kid. I was one of those people. But it was more for like the purpose of reviewing and like reacting to self-improvement content, because that's what I was really interested in at that time. And then on top of that, I would just like post a video once a week at that time. So what I had done, I had planned out like 40 videos that month that I wanted to film. That way I could just plan and I could just keep pushing out shorts all throughout that time. And I'd have those weekly videos coming out every single week. It wasn't the long videos that brought me any success at all. It was these shorts. It was like posting so many every single day, 7 a day I was doing. And finally everything started blowing up. I was getting all these comments, all these people reaching out to me. And actually by October of last year, I wasn't at 300 subscribers. I was actually at 3,000 subscribers. For me, you guys have to understand how exciting this was. I had never experienced anything like that at that moment or at that time. I had felt like I was actually onto something way bigger than I ever thought I was really capable of, at least at that time. I never had experienced comments upon comments. I'd never really experienced hate comments. And that was something new for me. I'd never really experienced any of those things, and to me, it was overwhelming and in such an exciting way. There was one thing that I learned at that time. It's that if you are really passionate about something, you work so hard at it that nothing can stop you, right? I like to think of the word passion, right? And if you actually look at the word passion, where it comes from, what it actually means, kind of starts to twist your mind a little bit. It starts to change your perception of the word, right? Passion actually comes from the Latin word passio, which means to endure, to suffer. So when you think of it like that, you're like, okay, what am I willing to suffer for? What am I willing to endure? So I learned, okay, post every single day, right? Post every single day. If you care about something, you will work at it every single day, unfailing. It was just like the process of record, move forward, record, move forward. What was really good about that is it reduced the time between the idea and execution. The less time you have between the idea and the execution just creates more success. It doubles the success that you have. As you keep going and you're pushing as much as you can, you're trying to get as much out as you can, you start to realize that God provides more ideas for those who act on their ideas immediately. So you get more ideas, you get more and more and more ideas. And eventually you start to question things, obviously. As things go, you can't have a success story without trial. It was within this process of me just doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting hundreds of subscribers a day. At a point, I had 111 subscribers in one day, and every single day was consistently 50 subscribers every single day. And then out of nowhere, it was like 0. 0, 0, -1, -2, 0, 0, 0, no views. And I'm like, what happened? Did I get shadow banned? Did I say something? Is it because I've been so controversial in the things that I talk about? I was terrified. I was like, no way I'm losing my brand right now after seeing all the success. Is this really the end for me? So thus presents the idea of the challenge in which you're working so hard but seeing no growth. You're seeing no fruit producing. A lot of you guys actually have probably experienced this. You start getting depressed. You start getting stressed. You're like, okay, I'm putting in so much work. I'm putting in everything that I have and I'm seeing nothing. And that has to be one of the most draining things that you can possibly ever experience. Working so hard at something you care so much about and seeing nothing, seeing that nobody else cares about it except for you. And of course, like your family and friends that were all excited about your growth are now seeing that this is all actually going down, and they all start to ignore the fact that you ever cared about something so much. You stop getting the support that you want. Again, a lot of you guys have probably experienced this and relate with this very deeply. And you know that you probably just felt super lonely, right? It's not fun. And it's crazy because like in this process, because you care so much about it, still you're working just as hard as you always have, and because you're not really seeing much of a return in investment, you start to lose inspiration. You start to lack faith in yourself and your abilities. And then also like the craziest part is that suddenly your ideas start to just run thin. Like you never had ideas to begin with. Like you never even had a passion in that core space ever before. It's like nothing ever even existed. So one, you might start asking, and maybe you're asking yourself the same question right now. Why am I doing this? For what purpose did I ever begin? Do I just keep going? Do I start over? Do I get a new channel? I definitely thought that. It was about this time that I had a very kind of, might I even say, paranormal experience, which is kind of funny. I'm here talking about YouTube growth, and now I'm going to start telling a little ghost story. Or what I imagined was, in the process of not seeing any growth, I had kind of come to this point, and I was like, okay, can I really put up with this any longer? And I started asking myself questions like, is this really for me? Should I actually just submit and just get a job and work the 9 to 5 for the rest of my life and be unhappy? One day I just kind of was like, okay, well, maybe I need to take a break. And that's exactly what I did. I just stepped away from the camera, turned it off, tucked away my ideas, my plans, my goals. Honestly, I tucked away my dreams. And I said, okay, I'm just going to take a break. And honestly, that was like, saying I'm taking a break is like, that's the closest thing to quitting you can get without actually quitting. That's exactly what I did. I decided I was going to take a break, and that whole day, for some reason, I just felt horrible about it. I just felt sick. And the day led up all the way to that night, and I started feeling a little bit different about it. I was like, dang, why is this really the right decision? Like, am I doing what God wants me to do? Should I be taking a break right now? Anyways, I was like, whatever. I just need to take a break. I need to like actually just let my mind be healthy again. And within that process, right as I was about to fall asleep, I was thinking about that. I was like, whatever. I decided I was going to say a prayer real fast and then just go to bed. And I said a little prayer. And as I was closing my prayer, I was lying there just thinking about it and just soaking it up, that feeling of like kind of confusion. And as I'm falling asleep, I can't exactly remember the voice I heard, but it was like a woman voice just telling me not to, basically telling me not to quit. Just like a scream in my ear, and I got straight out of bed. I'm like, what the freak just happened? I was terrified. I was like panicking. I was just like had the night sweats. Nearly like soiled my pantaloons. Immediately right then I was like, okay, I can't quit. I started writing in my journal, and I wrote it all down. I got back to work the next day, still no success. But after all of this work for months, again it worked. Again, all of the hard work just pays off. Now, suddenly it's like all the hardship was worth it. You're happy again. I think for me, what brought this success was the video is called Everything Actually Wrong with Your Life in 4 Minutes. And so, like you do, you post another one. First, it wasn't performing that well. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to change the thumbnail. No, I changed it. I was like, okay, I'm going to change the title. And all of a sudden, boom. Suddenly, like just like that, I get 3,000 views. And then just like the cycle continues, something happens. And thus commenced the dry spell, right? In which you don't see any fruit for anything that you're doing. You are literally just in the desert for 40 years. You know, you are just wandering on your own. And this is the loneliest state in progression. And everybody has to face this point. It's like you meet your all-time high and then you got to crash. At some point you have to crash because you're not experienced enough. You don't know enough. The reason we hit this point is because we're getting all the success. We are growing so fast and so quick and finding so much fulfillment. And what happens is because of all that, and you get in this rhythm, you also get comfort. You know, you get comfortable and you start kind of, sleeping in a little bit longer. You start just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. You stop thinking through the ideas of your videos. And of course, you're going to crash because, repetition brings damnation. There's no growth. But even though you're in this land of desolation, as far as the growth department goes, from the dust always grows a rose. As long as you're faithful and you keep persevering. See, I'm telling you guys this story because you're going to feel tempted to compare yourself to others. You're going to feel tempted to take breaks. You're going to feel tempted to quit. But it's never important to quit. I mean, it's never good, never valuable to quit. And people are going to tell you to niche down from the very beginning, but niching down is the death of the inspiration that you've been working for. Instead, find that passion I was talking about and really commit to it for the rest of your life, to work at it, to film for it, to create ideas about it and teach people, educate people. Become committed to that passion, something that you want to suffer for. You are unique. Don't niche down because of the ideas, the popular concepts online. Sometimes in your journey to success, you need to get lost, and you get lost by just doing crap. Guys, stop trying to find your perfect video. Stop trying to find the perfect niche. Just hit film and start your life today. No one else is going to chase your dreams for you. You have to get up and do it for you. If you want to find your destination, your only move is to get lost because you're here on your own. And that is the only way to succeed.